Okay, you're kind of a fat candle. I was going to make it thinner, but it worked out nicer this way. So we have a candle, and it's one way to describe it is this is a composite solid where we have a cone on top and a cylinder on the bottom. The cone has a height of just 1 inch, and the candle's height is 7 inches. And the radius is 0.75. I think I wrote it as 3/4 on the board, but you want to be able to convert it if you want to. All right, don't wait for me. Find your volumes. I'm going to find the volume of the cone first. That's 1/3 pi r squared h. I'm going to use little h for the cone and big H for the cylinder. All you have to do now is substitute in your values and find your volumes. Go ahead. Don't wait for me. Guess I'll do this cone first. I got 1/3. That's 1 divided by 3 in parentheses. Pi. And I want the radius squared. The radius is 0.75. I could store my radius as r, but it's just as easy to just put it in and square it. And I'm multiplying it by h, but it's just 1. That's not going to make any difference. See if you got the same thing, 0.589. What is this anyway? 0.589 candles? Inches, cubic inches, yeah. And it sort of makes sense. If this thing is only 1 inch high and it's a cone, it's not going to take up 1 full cubic inch, because 1 cubic inch would look like this, wouldn't it? Can you all see what I mean? That the cone inside of here is only going to take up a part of it. That makes sense to you guys? That it's only going to be about 0.6. It's only going to be 60% of this. All right, try your cylinder now. Don't wait for me. The radius is 0.75. And the height is 7 this time. So I've got pi. Oh, I'll do it the other way. If you want to put in your radius, you just store it. Whoops, hang on. 0.75, and I use the STO key. It's right there. It's at the bottom just above on. And it looks like a little arrow. And then I use alpha, and then R for the radius, and I hit enter. That's going to, this 0.75 is going to be R until I change it. What that allows me to do is to just put my formula into the calculator, of course. So I have pi R squared, and H is 7. I would have had to put in the H if I wanted to use the H, but I'll put in the 7 right there. And of course I get, did you get the same thing? 12.37 cubic inches. So this allows us to add these together to get the volume of 1 candle. So add those together. So I'm going to take the 12.37 plus the 0.589, and one candle is 12.959 cubic inches. Did she have just one candle? 36 of them. So the question was, if Paula has 36 of these candles, how many of the jars can she fill? So she has 36 candles, like these, and she's going to fill up some jars with the wax. And the jars are 3-inch diameter, which means the radius is 1.5 inches, and she wants to fill them to 2 inches depth. Not to scale, obviously. This is the height. Is everybody clear how this works? She's going to take 36 of these candles, going to melt them down, probably put them in a nice big, like one of those big stainless steel kettles or something. Melt them all down, and then she's going to take some jars and fill them up 2 inches deep. The jars are 3 inches across, and she wants to make a bunch of candles out of it. Instead of these type, where you got the wick up here, it's going to be inside the candle or inside the jar. So she's got 36 of these. See if you get the same thing. I got 466.525. Cubic inches of wax. And I want to see how many of these jars I can fill. So you're going to have to do the volume of wax inside the jar and figure out how many of them she can make. One thing I want you to get in the habit of doing is going ahead and substituting inside parentheses and then putting it in your calculator. Of course, you always have the option of using your store key if you want. I could store the radius as 1.5 and h is 2, but it's more trouble than it's worth. I would just as soon just put it in like this. See what you get? So each one of the jars is going to have 14.137 cubic inches of wax in it. And the wick, we're just kind of discounting that part. How do I figure out how many jars she can fill? Yeah, divide it. And it worked out so perfectly even. I didn't want to mess with my problem because I was going to make the candles actually to scale, because I actually have 3/4 inch candles, but they're 3/4 inch diameter, not radius. It just worked out too nice. She's not really filling the jar all the way. She's only filling it up to 2 inches high, because you want to leave a little bit of space below the edge of the jar so it doesn't come overflow or anything. It makes almost exactly 33 jars. You're just dividing in your total wax by how much you need for each jar. A lot of pieces to this. Hopefully it makes sense to you. You're going to see a problem a whole lot like this, and I would like for you to make a good attempt on your interim exam. So on Friday, when you guys are on that problem, you'll recognize it. It's very similar to this one. It's got some differences, but you should be able to do it. You're going to do one ed puzzle today. It's really easy. It's really quick. It's 6 minutes, but it's going to take you the full 10 minutes to finish it, and then we're going to lunch. So do it.